Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Theorist. And I am your host, JC Botero67. And again, as a special guest, I have Alex on the show.
Hello.
And today we're taking a look at chapter 28 of A Magnificent Depravity. So the chapter starts off with Johann arriving to the townhouse. That's what it was. Like last review, I was like, oh, it's like some other manor he owns. I can't remember. I don't know why I thought it was like day house or like, I don't know what I thought the name of it was. But yeah, townhouse. We've got that figured out
You were
now.
close.
I was close.
Day house, townhouse, night house, it's all the same.
Whatever, right? Ooh, night house. For the sexy rendezvous between Ciel and Sebastian. So I realized it was townhouse because, Johann asked Sebastian if he had received his letter, and then Sebastian was like, oh, we were at the townhouse, we weren't at the manor proper, and so I didn't receive the letter. But yeah, it was basically Johann saying that he was going to arrive to the townhouse. I don't know if he's early or something, because Sebastian was kind of slightly surprised that Johann was there. Like, I mean, he was expected, but I don't know. So, I don't know, I kind of drew my conclusions that maybe he got there early. Anyway, so then this next bit, I'm probably going to skip around some of the descriptive part, but I'll go ahead and read the quotes. So this is Johann starting off first. Surely Ciel knows of my coming. Coming. Okay. And then Sebastian's like, absolutely not. We will just have to inform him that you are here and will be visiting for a time. And then Johann's like, Sebastian, why didn't you tell him? Did you plan to surprise him like this? And I'm just like, he probably did. I don't know. Then, freaking Ciel, I just, love him. I love Eglentyne. Like, she just picks up on, character and character interaction so well. Like, I could just literally see this happening. And I've said this time and again, I could literally see this story being part of Black Butler. Like, a continuation or something.
A sexy continuation.
Right? It's beautiful. So this is Ciel. So I have to ask, Johann, what brings you here? What are you seeking from me? He leaned forward, and I'm like, ooh. And don't tell me it's just the pleasure of my company. I'm not very pleasurable company. He glanced in my direction. So again, the story is in Sebastian's perspective, just to clarify. You're still standing there. Aren't you going to bring tea and biscuits or something? So I don't know why I thought that was so funny, and I just love it.
That does seem I could definitely see that in the anime or the
Right?
manga.
Right? Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. So then this bit was super funny to me. So this is Ciel speaking first. I really can't do anything half-heartedly, I suppose. To which Johann replies, well, that's one way to turn a vice into a virtue. And for some reason, Ciel finds that funny. So he gives this first genuine laugh that Sebastian says, that he hasn't heard hasn't heard in a while. And then Ciel goes on to say, Johann, I did not know you to be so amusing. And it's just, I don't know why I thought it was funny, because I feel like it's kind of insulting. Oh, I thought you were some boring little shit, but now you're super funny. I don't know. Just the way I interpret things.
The way you just put that was hilarious. I thought you were some boring little shit, now you're suddenly funny.
Right.
That was great.
Oh, and then in that same paragraph thing, Ciel goes on to say, I feel slighted to have not discovered this sooner. If I had known, I would have invited you myself, instead of the butler just taking it upon himself to invite people to my house. And then Sebastian, in his thought, is saying, of course he would place the focus on me, as though acting of my own accord is a shortcoming in a servant. Let me be the brunt of his criticisms, if it took the focus away from being told that Johann saw him make sick at his aunt and uncle's estate. So as I've said before, Johann was there for Easter as well. And so I totally forgot that Johann saw Ciel in this drunken state, but I guess he caught sight of that. And Ciel and Johann were talking about that a little bit earlier. Oh, yeah, and so then, Johann feels like he's intruding, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry, and Ciel's like, oh, don't worry about it, and then at one point, Ciel says, Sebastian, I believe we have no further need of you, so my guest and I are going to catch up, for we failed to do that last we saw each other. And I'm just like, oh, he wants alone time now. He's just kicking out Sebastian, go away. It's so funny. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to read so much. Like, I feel I'm giving away the whole story if I'm reading all these things. But yeah, I just, they're just like these scenes between Ciel and Sebastian that I just like find hilarious, I guess. Because like Ciel gets upset that like, Sebastian's like inviting people and like not letting him know. So he's like shouting and whatever. And Sebastian's like, is it necessary to shout? And pray tell precisely what are these things to which you refer? So then Ciel replies, doing as you please behind my back. And then Sebastian's like, oh, so is that the only thing? Or do you mean to imply I have acted as such on more than one occasion? Like, I don't know why. I just like love these interactions that they have. It's great.
Doing what he pleases behind his back.
Oh, whoa. That is beautiful. I did not catch that. Good job, Alex.
I'll do what I please.
I love having you on this reviews. All right. So then, by the way, this conversation is happening in the kitchen. So Johan's kind of freshening up upstairs, and Ciel came to like talk to Sebastian and whatnot. So anyway, Sebastian goes on to say, young master, after the dinner party, Johan came to me with a very curious confession. I do not know how to phrase it without it sounding preposterous, but it is true as I am about to say it. And then Ciel's like, will you sit down? You know how it irritates me to have you looming over as you explain things. So I don't know why. I just pictured it like, Ciel just being like, sit the down.
Oh my god, I'm Ciel all of a sudden.
That is so funny,
Sebastian,
right?
sit your ass down. I can't stand looking up at you. You're hurting my neck.
Sit your fine ass down. Oh, that's what I thought too. I was like, sit your fine ass down so I can straddle you or something like that. Right? Like, for real.
Devil's canvas.
Okay.
No, body shop. I lied.
Oh, okay. Well, either way.
Oh, either way, it's sexy, yes.
Right. That's so funny. So, Johan's confession to Sebastian was like the fact that he doesn't feel like a man, like he doesn't want to play out that kind of role. So he'd rather be a woman, is what his confession was.
Oh.
But I guess it's kind of hinting at the fact that he's gay and like he was kind of ashamed to admit it, like I said before. So I guess Sebastian's trying to explain to Ciel the fact that Johan's gay, but Ciel's not getting it because, Sebastian's saying like, oh, he wants to be a woman. And Ciel's like, it can't be because he's a man. He's not a woman. And okay, so this is like a pickup of that conversation. That is ridiculous. Is it now? That's Sebastian, by the way. And then the ridiculous line was Ciel. Sorry, I just didn't want to confuse people. Okay, so Sebastian, is it now? You mean to tell me you have never encountered another individual with a similar predilection? He knew to whom I was referring and curled his lip like I had just thrust some some vile substance under his nose. Yes, but Johan is nothing like, and this is Ciel now, sorry. Johan has some decency. Come to think, he's rather refined. Johan isn't secretly some degenerate who's really adept at hiding it, is he? So when Ciel was like, Johan isn't secretly some degenerate, like, I don't know why I thought, like, oh, like, I don't even know.
I love the word degenerate.
I know, I love it too. I guess the way Ciel said it, I don't know, I kind of thought, like, oh, like, Johan's like a pervert, like, trying to rape Ciel, I don't know. It's crazy. So anyway, they're having dinner, Ciel and Johan, finally. Ciel's kind of like, oh, we've talked plenty about me. I want to know about you. And Johan's kind of like, oh, like, I don't know. My life is boring, I guess, kind of a thing. Like, I don't know. But then Ciel does end up confronting him about the whole, like, him wanting to dress as a girl and stuff. And Johan's like, oh, if it's too much of an inconvenience, like, you don't have to do it. Like, I don't know. They're trying to dress him up as a girl for the ball now or something. And I guess, like, Sebastian had talked to Nina Hopkins to, like, make a outfit for him. So there was also this part where I think Ciel was asking Johan, oh, so you're dressing as a girl or something like that? And then I, for some reason, misread that and thought that Johan wanted Ciel to dress as a girl. And I was just kind of sitting there like, oh, so like what, they're dressing as girls together? Like, what's going on? But no, I totally misread that, as I said. So, yep.
Oh, Robin Ciel.
I know, right? I'm like, I want Robin Ciel to come back. That was like epicness. Ooh, speaking of Robin CL, I was watching this video on YouTube and it was like 20 secret organizations that you didn't know about or something like that. I think the YouTube channel is Danger Dolan or something like that. And so the first one, I can't remember what the organization was called, but I guess they believed there was like some kind of power or something, like if you masturbated. And the head of the organization was some dude named Leicester, and I was like, oh my God.
That's terrifying.
Right? I was like, holy crap. Because I've never heard that name before. Like, I figured, like, it was, like, a cool, like, combo of a name or something that Yana Toboso came up with. But I guess it's, like, a legit name. And, yeah.
That is
I don't
really
know if that's
funny,
where she got it. I don't know if that's where she got it from.
I
but,
hope
yeah.
not.
Right? Oh, man. Oh, then it's also interesting, too. CL and Johan kind of have this conversation on, like, kindness and stuff. And, you know, CL, based on his experiences, which he's not going to tell Johan, obviously. But, you know, he says, like, oh, people try to be kind, but they're unlike Johan. Like, Johan is actually, like, genuine. And CL at one point even asked Johan, like, oh, like, you know, if you have friends who are nice, but, you know, not to a certain level of kindness, like, would you judge them? Would you tell them to change? And Johan's like, no. And so that's why CL's like, you're genuinely kind because you're not judging people and stuff. So it's like an interesting conversation. So then to conclude this, it was super funny because Johan is grateful to CL and like he literally jumps up from his seat and hugs CL. And so Sebastian's kind of like smirking in the corner because he's like, you know, he knows how CL is. Like, he doesn't want to be like hugged and like suffocated, I guess. I don't know. And so I don't think anyone wants to get suffocated, but you get my point. But anyway, like CL catches Sebastian's eye and he's actually hugging Johan back. So I thought that was like really funny. Then in her author's note, Eglentyne talks about how she hasn't been updating all too soon as she said she would because she wanted to like really develop the character of Johan because he pretty much plays a minor role in the Weston arc. And I don't know what it is about her that she like enjoys his character and like she kind of wishes he would make an appearance in the manga again. And like she's been working on like developing him. And I love how she's doing that. Like I really feel like he's developing really well. And it's also funny to me because she talks about how she pictures his name being pronounced. So she's like, if I hear someone say Joanne, I might screech and whatnot. And so when I saw how she was talking about like the pronunciation, I was like, I know she's not talking about me. Because at first I was like, oh no, am I pronouncing it wrong? And I'm like, no, I don't think so. I'm not pronouncing it Joanne. Like, it's Joan or Johan, I guess. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for this review. I mean, it was mainly like, you know, Johan arrived, CL and him have a conversation, then they have dinner, and then eventually, I don't know if it'll be next chapter or a few chapters down the road, but eventually the ball will take place. And so, you know, we'll kind of see what happens.
And someone will walk in on Sebastian and CL doing the dirty somewhere.
Yes. Right. I know, I'm trying to think what can happen, because Girl's supposed to make an appearance. Ooh. It hasn't happened yet. And I don't know, I just feel for this ball, like, it can't be picture perfect. You know, there's got to be something that happens.
I hope it's Grail.
I know Eglentyne has warned, you know, maybe rape could happen. Maybe murder could happen.
Oh my.
So one of the two has to happen at this ball.
I'm wondering if Joanne would get murdered. That would be interesting.
Ooh, what if he got murdered? Okay, so here's the thing, too. His father, Johan's father, is very controlling, I guess. So Johan prefers to get into a career, like a writing career, but his father's really pushing for him to do law. As a fourth year, I think he's in his fourth year, Johan. He's taking these law classes that he wouldn't be taking until sixth year. But his father, like, somehow accommodated for that.
Holy crap.
Yeah. So I'm even thinking like if his father somehow shows up to this and sees Johann dressed as a girl, like how he'll react to that. I
Ooh,
don't know if it would be to the point of like death, but yeah.
it wouldn't be good, that's for sure.
Mhm. Ooh, also, if Johann's dressed as a girl and like somehow he ends up with Ciel alone somewhere and Lizzie catches that,
Oh,
that's also, you know,
so many
gonna be
ideas.
interesting. I know. I'm coming up with more theories now. I didn't think about these before, really. Like, so I love coming up with stuff on the spot, and we'll see how that works. So, yeah. So that is pretty much it for A Magnificent Depravity. And chapter 29 is next. So I'll catch you guys in that review. So, yes, thank you, Alex, for being a guest on the show again.
You're very welcome.
And we'll catch you guys later. Bye.